Welcome home, neighbors.
Welcome home, neighbors.
Hello, neighbors.
We're listening from
Arizona,
Florida,
Maryland, New York,
New Jersey,
Minneapolis,
California,
Utah,
Michigan,
Iowa, Massachusetts,
Georgia,
Canada,
Our home resort is
Animal Kingdom,
Polynesian,
Bay Lake Tower,
Old Key West,
Riviera,
Boardwalk,
Aulani Resort,
Boulder Ridge, Copper Creek,
Grand Floridian,
Saratoga Springs,
Beach Club,
and Wilderness Lodge.
and you're listening to
You're listening
to
my
Well, welcome home, everybody, to Community Hall Live by My DVC Points. My name is Chad, and I am your host tonight. And I would like to welcome Gina to the show. How you doing tonight, Gina?
Very good, thank you.
Oh, good deal. And then let me add Samantha into the stream. How you doing tonight, Samantha?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
I'm doing great. And in the pre-show, everybody else covered their countdown shares, so let's go over ours. So, Samantha, how many days?
I am at 158 until I get to go back home, and it cannot come soon enough.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's getting to you, huh?
Yeah, I'm jonesing for some Disney right now.
You're jonesing for some pixie dust. The withdrawal is kind of getting. Did Hamilton do anything to knock the edge off this weekend, or?
I actually haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet because I've been working all weekend. But hopefully tomorrow night I will get to sit down and enjoy it.
Okay, well, I was hoping like Hamilton had at least like knocked the edge off and give you a little bit of something there. So, anyways, Gina, how about you?
6 days. We land on Friday. We're going to the other guys, and then we'll be there on the 11th. Check in on the 11th.
Got it. And then if you guys want a great way to track all of this stuff, you can go over to the My DVC Points app, because once you calculate a vacation, the home screen of the app will tell you how many days you have left till you're going home. And so just for fun, I went ahead and calculated mine. It's 120 days before I'm staying at a grand villa at Animal Kingdom. And I am seriously looking forward to that. And Samantha has 218 days, it looks like, to Beach Club. Or maybe I got that wrong when I put that in. I think she said 158.
158.
Yeah, I did. So that was just a data entry error on me. I should have asked for her date and not the days. And then Gina, we know, has 6 days before she's going home to Boulder Ridge. So yeah, go ahead and check out our app if you haven't done so yet. And so that's what's going on here with the countdown shares and the apps. And we've got really 3 stories to run with tonight. The first one is we have some neighbors in need, and a Disney cast member approached me and said, hey, could you share out this link, because these are some really good A+ people. And I did some looking into it tonight and just said, you know what, I want to do a little bit more than share out the need. I want to have them come onto the show and share their story, because as I started to do this, I started to realize that these are us, okay? This could be any one of our families. I started looking through their photos and their story, and I just looked at us and I was like, wow, let's just have them come on the show tonight and share their story as well. I've already donated to the GoFundMe, and I'm going to ask everybody else to as well. And then after that tonight, we'll be talking about what's your family's favorite holiday Disney memories. If you've been to Disney at a holiday, what's some of your favorite family memories? And then after that, we're just going into something we've been doing on holidays for the last little bit now. Is just a general open and answer question session. So like, what questions do you guys have about DVC? And we'll answer on screen. Other members will answer in their comments, and we'll just have that conversation there. So that being said and done, let's welcome James and Rochelle to the show. So, hey, James. Hey, Rochelle.
Hey, Chad.
Hi.
Hey, I'm not going to ask you how you guys are doing tonight, because I understand things are not looking so great there. But I will ask you to share a little bit of your DVC story with us and your situation.
Okay. Right. I've been married to my wife Karen for it'll be 12 years this year, and she's been a member since her about 23 years old, when she was old enough and had enough money to buy a membership. Her first trip was she was about 13 when her aunt and uncle took her down there, and she caught the bug. And from the time she bought her membership, she would go down 2 times on average, sometimes 3 times a year. Her favorite time of the year was Halloween, and after we got married, if we timed it just right, we were able to stay for Halloween, the not so scary Halloween party, and then the next day on November 1st, which is also our anniversary, we would be there for the Christmas parade in the Magic Kingdom.
Got it. And let me walk through some of these photos and just have you share through them. I'll just throw them up here as well, because I think our photos are pretty accurate here, right? That remember since 1998.
Yes.
And that's you, your wife, and you guys have a little girl as well, right?
Yes, that's our daughter Charlotte. She turned 3 in January.
Got it. And then that's you guys there with Stitch, and then
The picture on the left was.
Oh, I can go back. So
The picture on the left was from December of last year. Her friend, who was a cast member, had her anniversary party, and the whole park is shut down just for cast members and one guest.
oh wow, and she got to be the +1.
She got to be the +1, and that picture on the far right is also the same night.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks like the same coat. So yeah, so she got to meet Stitch, and then whoever the female version of Stitch is.
Angel.
Angel. See, there we go. This is why we have co-hosts. They come back in.
Yeah, I didn't know who it was either.
Yeah. And then this photo, when was this one taken? This is a cute photo.
That was our April trip. When I ran my first half marathon, I ran in the Star Wars Rival Run.
Awesome.
Oh wow.
Great.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's half marathon. Disney runners or runners in general, man. Hats off to you guys, right? It's
Definitely have to be a walker.
yeah. You have to be a fast walker as well, because I couldn't even keep in front of the balloon ladies if I tried. So yeah, and it looks like this might have been there on the left, the same trip.
Yeah, that was December, and then on the right was, I think, our 2018 trip.
Got it.
One time, because we used pretty much all of our points for a 2-bedroom and went down with our neighbors.
I think we all know how that goes. Yeah, we've been there. And then these are some really cool photos as well that are like the ultimate Disney couple, so to speak, as well, because it looks like you proposed in front of the castle.
We got engaged. That's in the old Rose Garden, which is not there anymore. That's in 2008. And we were let in by Disney Memory Makers, I believe, or it was a contracted photography group that was able to take pictures, professional pictures in the parks. The middle is our wedding with kind of throwback looking Mickey and Minnie.
Yeah.
And the right is our welcome.
Yeah.
The welcome message to the reception.
Which I thought was incredibly cool as well, because it just goes to like speak to character that you guys, when you read that text, it says, hey, look, instead of flowers, we'd like you guys to make a wish, to make a donation to Make-A-Wish. And I know that's a pretty cherished organization here in the Disney community, that
Yeah.
and Give Kids the World.
And the wish we got to grant was child wanted to go to the San Diego Zoo, so they got to make that trip.
Awesome. That's really cool. And then I think this is the last set of photos that I have, and
I think that's also in December. That was her last visit down there.
Okay. And it looks like you guys had some fun with some stickers as well.
The Snapchat filters that are activated once we get on property.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that Snapchat had their own filters there. So, yeah. So the story I'm seeing here is like the ultimate Disney family, and then something happened, like cancer struck, right?
It did. First in 2011, my wife had a questionable thing, for lack of a better term, on her tongue, and you go to a few doctors, and some don't know what it is, and some have a guess, and it was her primary dentist that actually excised it and sent it off for biopsy, and it came back cancerous. We found a surgeon, and she, within a week, I'm sorry, I was in Washington, D.C., and I had to took a train home that night. I had to give her the bad news. That was on May 13th of 2011, and she was in surgery on June 1st.
Wow. And then sounds like there was a couple more phases here as well.
She was incident free. She had 5 years of clear PET scans,
Okay.
and after that, you're considered in full remission. She got pregnant in May of 2016, gave birth in January of 2017. Everything seemed fine until April of 2019, when she got another spot on her tongue, and we thought it was a burn because it happened right after she ate something hot right out of the oven. But that was right before we were supposed to go down for our April trip. When we came back, so the same surgeon that she saw in 2011, and the surgeon she said, I'm not even going to try to biopsy it or scan it. It looks cancerous. And so she went back in surgery probably 2 weeks after that visit. That was May 15th that she went back in and had another surgery. That came back as squamous cell carcinoma. And just as a preventative precaution, she went for radiation therapy over the summer. So starting on her birthday, she started. She went for 30 sessions, which was 5 days a week for 6 weeks of radiation. Finished up around the end of August, and she was feeling fine until November. She started getting a little bit of a stiff neck, which just progressively got worse, with less and less relief no matter what she did. And like we said before, she went out from work in late January, and 2 weeks in the hospital trying to find out what was wrong. They biopsied her again. That came back negative. The pain never subsided at all, so she went back in the hospital and had another biopsy under CAT scan guidance, and that came back positive for squamous cell carcinoma again.
Wow. And then that kind of brings us to current day at this time.
Right. That last diagnosis was in late February, early March.
Okay. And yeah, from what I understand, things don't look really positive from here as well. And so that's why we've kind of got a GoFundMe. And it just so happened tonight when this request came in, I looked and Samantha was here. And Samantha, you work with cancer help and patient help in your day job, right?
Yeah, so I am a social worker in my day job, and I work for an organization that helps people that are touched by cancer in a lot of different ways. Unfortunately, most of the people that I see come through the door are people who are going through a cancer diagnosis. They get that awful news, and then their family members, they want to be supportive, and they come through the door as well. Just, they want to know how they can help. And as a social worker, when I read this story, it reminded me of all the people that I see at work every single day. And my heart goes out to you guys, because it's some of the worst news that you can receive as a family. And it's not just the person who's sick that it affects. It's the spouse and the kids and friends and family, and everyone just wants to be there and just wants to help. And if we can help in any way to make this a little bit easier for you, I'm so happy that we can.
And, that's where, Rachel, you set up this GoFundMe, right? Because, the family's going through all kinds of emotional stuff, but then it's like you're out of work in the middle of a COVID crisis as well, taking care of families. And I'm sure the financial burden in this time is pretty steep, right?
Absolutely. Actually, Karen and I met in nursing school. We went to nursing school together, became nurse practitioners together, and have been friends ever since. And when all the COVID stuff started happening, she was already in the hospital, and I had been trying to take a little bit of the burden off of James so that he could spend more time with Charlotte. And so I was going to the hospital at night after work, and then I got furloughed, so it seemed like the perfect time to take care of Karen. So I've been working with them to deal with as much of the clinical aspect of what's going on with her as possible, taking her to appointments and all of her treatments, radiation and chemotherapy, and I knew that there was no way that, especially with everything that was going on with COVID and with James having to work such long hours as a first responder, that they would be able to make it without the help of their family and friends. And they're both amazing people and so loved by so many. And the GoFundMe was, I think, the best idea that somebody suggested it, and I thought it was just an amazing idea. And I said, yeah, I got to do it. And we did it, and it's been very helpful so far.
Yeah, and so I use a software called Pretty Links that lets me take a complicated link and make it really short and pretty. So if you just go to mydvcpoints.com/Ohana, it will take you straight over to the GoFundMe page. It's not like a affiliate link or anything along those lines, but it's just a quick and easy way for people to get there. Or you could also scroll up to the very first comments that are on the show, and we have the direct link from GoFundMe there as well. I just wanted to make it easy for people because I looked at this story and went, man, I had some Old Key West cast members who asked me to share this link. And when we looked at the story, I was like, man, I can share the link out there and that might get you something. But I really feel like we're an awesome DVC member community and we want to help each other out when things like this happen. And there's a rule out there that says you do for one what you wish you could do for everybody. And while I can't do this for every single story and case that comes along, when I looked at all the pieces that came together with tonight's cast, I had a cancer specialist to help me here because I have no idea what I'm doing or how to handle this. I'm just going to be brutally honest with you guys. So I'm going to not in my comfort zone at all, okay? But I had Samantha by my side. I had you guys. I had a cast member saying, hey, these guys are A+ Disney family just like this. And then I start looking at the story and I go, you guys this could be us, okay? This could be any of us. And, right down from the whole multiple contracts at DVC, you guys are my core people, right? This is who we are. So I figured, okay, what I'll do is I'm going to come back in, share your story here, put the links out there and see if we can't get a little bit more action and traction on this as well. So if you guys could tonight, mydvcpoints.com/Ohana will take you over to the GoFundMe, and we'd be more than appreciative if you guys could help this family out. I know I have already made a donation and put it up there as well. And then we've got a couple of comments here as well from the community, and Brianna says she's praying for you guys and your precious little girl. And then Marianne is in prayer. So is Roxanne. And then Brianna comments again, praying for you all with a heart. So if you guys could come back out there, and guys, thank you for joining the show today and sharing a little bit more of your story. I wanted to make the link a little bit more real and personable. And I think the photos in your story did that.
Thank you so much, Chad.
Thank you for having us, really.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Samantha. Thank you.
So, okay. So that being said, let me come back in and we'll start to shift gears here. And we'll thank you guys for joining us. And shifting gears here as well, it's kind of hard to shift from this story. But as I looked at it and I thought, it's 4th of July weekend. We've looked at some of their favorite holiday memories that they've had with us. And the cool thing about DVC is it allows us to come back year after year after year and make great memories. So we're going to shift the conversation now over to what are some of your guys' favorite family holiday memories, okay? and then we'll move into a question and answer session tonight. So, Gina, what's some of your favorite?
Oh, okay. Halloween is my favorite. That's my go-to. Haunted Mansion's my world. So every October, I try to go to Walt Disney World, and during October to visit and enjoy the Not So Scary Halloween party, which I finally did for the first time last October. And then, of course, Disneyland transforms their parks into a Halloween wonder. So I get to experience the Haunted Mansion holiday, which I love. They transform it into Nightmare Before Christmas, and I'll ride that all the time. I get there early just to ride that to get my fast passes. So Halloween, number one.
Got it. Samantha?
So my family, we are frugal with points, and when we didn't have points, we were pretty frugal otherwise. But we always made it a point to go around Christmas. My mom's absolute favorite holiday is Christmas, and she loves all the decorations at Disney, just the way they kind of go all out, which is pretty much what we do at my house at Christmas. So we would either go, as a kid, I either went the week after Thanksgiving, so it was all Christmased out, or we would go for what some people call the Christmas hangover, which is early January before everything comes down. Last year, I was lucky enough to be able to take my sister, and we did our first Christmas party together. And we just had so much fun going on all the special rides and going through all the cookie trails. We came home with a backpack full of cookies. It was like being a little kid at Christmas again. It was awesome.
Awesome. We haven't spent the points to go at Christmas. We're one of these years, we know we're going to do it. And we're going to bank up all of the Copper Creek points and try to get a cabin during Christmas time. So that's on the family bucket list. Okay. And because, we own a couple, 200 points-ish at Copper Creek, we should be able to come together and get bank, borrow, steal, maybe get 3 months at the 11-month, 3 or 4 nights at the 11-month window. That's kind of the goal. But then the other thing is we own Bay Lake. And so our jam, my favorite time to go for holidays is 4th of July with a Magic Kingdom view over at Bay Lake Tower. And snagging those puppies up at the 11-month mark, because if you wait on that for July 4th, you're out of luck. So I think what we'd like to do is spend a couple of days, maybe the 26th, 27th, 28th-ish at Copper Creek in a cabin, and then move over to catch the New Year's Eve fireworks at Bay Lake Tower on the other part of the 11-month window. And that's kind of our family's jam. And the other thing that came up was the little Facebook memory deals. Mm-hmm. The one that popped for me today was 2 years ago. July 4th, I see a photo of my mom and my daughter riding Seven Dwarfs Mine Train together. And so you see kind of a 78, 79-year-old lady with her grandkid on 7D just having the time of her life. And so it was kind of a cool, fun moment there as well. And so... And then Dan makes this comment here. He says, when Holly Austin and I were in high school, we had the privilege to be in the Candlelight Processional.
Oh, wow.
And also performed in the America Adventure Round Rotunda. Rotunda. The dots made me look for something getting cut off here. And I'm like, what? Well, where else is it? But okay, it was really just as simple as Rotunda. So that is really, really, really cool, Dan. And then... Lauren says her favorite Disney holiday memory was a couple of years ago. Had a big Thanksgiving dinner at Storytellers Cafe at Grand Cal. The characters walked around and Dale was super interactive with my husband and I. The entire table was cracking up and it was definitely a memory for us.
Right.
So yeah, that's really kind of cool there as well. And then Amanda says, attending the Halloween party with my aunt and seeing her tear up over Hollow Wishes was amazing for me. And we enjoyed the parade, the decorations, and the stage show as well. Mm-hmm. So I have got to make it to an official Halloween party. I think 2018 Halloween, I was in Disneyland with a premier annual pass the night of the Halloween party, but of course we got kicked out for the Halloween party.
You get to have the special wristbands.
Yeah, I mean, I hung out back there at, what was it, the Golden Horseshoe?
Yeah.
I hung out back in that area at Disneyland as long as I could.
Yeah. Then they come sweeping through.
Yeah, and then
They check.
and I kind of made it behind the sweep, okay? Because I was, at a table eating, and so they didn't quite think to escort me out. But then I was like feeling guilty because everybody was lining up for the Phantasmic on Rivers of America and things along those lines. But so I've got it. That's on my bucket list, okay?
Mine too.
Yeah. And then Roxanne says the week before Thanksgiving is really slow. We got in a lot of rides with no wait when her kids were in preschool. And then Jennifer saying Shades of Green hosted my husband's father and family for a special Veterans Day event
Oh, that's
with
awesome.
an amazing character meet and greets. That would be really, really, really cool. Absolutely really cool. And then Ron is saying, my brother-in-law took the entire wife's side of the family, Christmas 2015. 15 of us. Wow. I need a brother-in-law like that, okay?
Me too. Sign us up.
Yeah, no kidding, right? And then our 7-day stay at Animal Kingdom turned into an 8-day at Poly due to the ridiculous weather in Chicago, but they love the Osborne lights, and I regret not being able to see Osborne lights.
Me too.
So, yes, Marianne says New Year's Eve fireworks and our jammies from our bed at the Poly. I remember that story from your interview,
From our
Marianne.
episode, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great memory.
Yeah, that certainly is. And then Mary says the Halloween party is so amazing. The parade is the best.
Mm-hmm.
And then Amanda says, Marianne, I was at the Poly New Year's Eve and fell asleep before midnight. So
That's me too, Amanda. I am not a night owl. So.
yes, yes. And then they're also claiming back in, yes, booty you and booty you.
It's the parade song.
So yeah, that's a wonderful thing about this. And I think, our story tonight comes back in and kind of ties this all together with, guys, make sure to do some great use of your points as well and get some quality time in with family members, because you never know what life is going to hand us next, okay? And then Holly says that we honeymooned at Walt Disney World beginning of December 2012. Our next two trips in 2015 and 16 were in December, and I started to forget what the parks looked like without Christmas decorations and trees until our last two trips. There's something about the Main Street decorations that are magical, and she also misses the Osborne lights at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, she's 100% right about Main Street at Christmas. It was a couple of years since we had gone at Christmas, before we went in 2019. And I took a film of at the end of the fireworks when they have the snow come down. And I was like, it's snowing. And it's just awesome. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
Nothing like the fake Disney snow.
No.
I love the fake icicles.
They're pretty epic over there at Grand Californian as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That little path, by the Redwood Forest.
I love it. Yeah.
Okay. They will light that place up with snow at Christmas time. And that's
fake icicles.
yeah. Yeah, fake schmake. It still looks pretty.
It's gorgeous. I love it.
Yeah. Yep. And then Lauren was saying that Main Street Christmas decor is the best. So, okay then. I think we're all caught up with our comments on Halloween stuff. I want to figure out, does anybody have any open question and answer stuff? Questions about Disney? Anything that you guys want to talk about as well? We've got some time on the platform. We were half tempted to cancel the show tonight just due to the holidays, and we knew the attendance and viewership would be a little bit down, but we figured we would come back in and just host a show anyways and see what we could come up with as well. And
I can answer all your land questions.
there we go. So we've got land and world covered here tonight between the ladies. And then I'm just here to not even look pretty, right? But Scott was saying, bah humbug, went 1 year from Christmas and New Year's, and it turned into the Grinch standing shoulder to shoulders. Now he avoids every holiday. I think that is a key thing, to have great expectations on a holiday weekend, okay? That all the locals are going to be coming out. Everybody whose annual pass is not blocked out. And it's going to be nutso. So you just have to come back in and say, I'm just here to maybe fight my way to my 3 fast passes and use them. and then leave and take in the main street and the decorations and that kind of fun stuff. But other thing that we had happen this week is, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to check it out yet, but we did a very technical deeds estate planning transfer of title shows as well. If anybody has any questions on that, we could follow up on that. And then general DVC questions, whether you're renting, buying, how do you use your points? What's the best use of this? If you guys have questions, let us know tonight, and we'll do our best to answer them, or at least take notes and come back to you. I think between the three of us, we should be able to answer about everything. And
well, in the meantime, I'll pose a question to the group. So a bunch of us, and by us, I mean like my cousins, my sister, and I, were planning next August to do a big girls trip. We did one in 2018 when I first got my points, but now we're going to go like big. Like we want a 2-bedroom. We're going all out. We're staying one night more than we did the last time, so we can get a little bit more in. So right now, my ideal choices for a 2-bedroom are either Bay Lake Tower, Copper Creek, but not a cabin because I cannot afford that, or Boardwalk. So what is your favorite 2-bedroom setup? Help me out.
okay, what type of room are you getting at Bay Lake Tower? You looking for a theme park, a lake, or a standard?
A lake.
So, okay, guys. So let's help Samantha out here with her question. And she wants to know 2-bedroom, Bay Lake Tower, Lakeview, Copper Creek, or Boardwalk. And then I'm assuming it's a standard garden view, or not a standard view, but it's a garden view there because you don't own there, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, Gina, any thoughts here?
Well, I own at Copper Creek, and I love Wilderness Lodge. But it's August, so you're not missing anything if you don't stay there. It's not the holidays, you're not missing decorations. That's my point.
Yeah.
But if you want to be close, I like where it is, Wilderness Lodge. I just love. But then if you want to do Epcot a lot and like Boardwalk, because you're right there.
Yeah. And the two younger ones in the group, they love like Hollywood Studios. So that's why I was thinking like Boardwalk would be kind of a good location to have. But looking at the layout of Bay Lake Tower for 4 girls, it works out because there's 3 bathrooms. So everyone getting ready in the morning would be a lot easier. So they all kind of have their own benefit. I can't pick. And luckily I have a ton of time to decide.
Given the whole multiple girls trip bathroom deal, I'm going solid Bay Lake Tower. Okay. That extra bathroom is phenomenal. That center area is my favorite center area in all of DVC. It's like wedge shaped and it gets wider towards the windows and it's easy to navigate through. You could have both beds down and easily walk through it. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I am digging on the 1-bedroom part. And so you get that with a 2-bedroom over at Bay Lake Tower. Yeah. And then when we stayed there with a 2-bedroom, it was almost even better, I'm going to argue, than a standard studio because you don't have that little walled off fake kitchenette deal. Okay, the layout's slightly different in the 2-bedroom and you just had plenty of space everywhere. So that's what I'm loving about Bay Lake Tower. And Boardwalk, you're going to have a hard time. Boardwalk is going to be the hardest one to book, okay?
Okay.
Because they're all lock-offs over there. And so in order for you to get the 2-bedroom, you have to be able to get the studio, okay?
I wasn't thinking about that.
So while I like Boardwalk, it's a little hard to get a 2-bedroom there. So if you wanted 1-bedrooms, it's pretty much easier because there are no dedicated 2-bedrooms, so there's more studios and more 1-bedrooms. But given those choices, that's what I'm going with. I'm going with the Bay Lake. And then if given the other choice of it, if I can sneak the points into a standard view one, I'm dropping down to standard view. Because I look at it like you can always go upstairs to the top of the world for a view.
Right.
Yeah.
Or at least, the elevators areas have great views from up there as well. So I'm not worried about a view there. Not at all. But I think that's a great question here. And then Mary says extra bathrooms are the best. And,
especially with a lot of girls.
Yeah. And Animal Kingdom has the bathrooms as well.
Oh, okay.
And
I'll look into them.
And then Roxanne says, are all of your contracts in the kid's name or only your Copper Creek? All of the contracts are in mine and Laura's name as trustees. So the trust technically owns those, and it'll say Chad Pennycuff, trustee of the whatever the trust name is, Laura Pennycuff, trustee of that name. And so we have them in the smaller sizes so that we can give them to the kids when they're later, and they will take their blue card benefits because those 50 pointers are grandfathered in. So that was the story on that from the episode this week. And then let me throw this comment. Ron says he's there as well. And so he's been at SSR all week, leaving tomorrow. Wanted to share Disney and the CMs have been absolutely spectacular in the way they're handling things amidst this trying time, and he never felt unsafe once.
Good. Yay.
Good. That's
Which
good to
is
know.
really, really good to do, because from what I get, some people are giving the cast members a little bit of a hard time. Okay. And to me, that's just not cool, hassling cast members. So yeah. Yep. But then Lauren asks a great question, and I think it's a pretty popular question this time around. She goes, do you think Aulani will be packed next year? Possibly people avoiding the park, AKA that's what I'm thinking for us next year. And I think it's going to be really difficult to book.
Yeah.
So.
And then you also have the people who, as far as I know, Aulani doesn't have an opening date. So now you have the people who maybe they had things booked this summer and they got to push it back and push back. So you're going to get those people who are delayed and then everyone who's avoiding the parks. So it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough. I can just tell you, I'm planning on my 3-bedroom grand villa next June, and I'll be doing a little bit of this. Okay.
Like a month's worth.
Taking a little stroll.
Yeah. I will be at least a month out because I want that grand villa, right? And I got the points for it because we cut this year's vacation short. So I'll have 20% of the points or more that I'm just kicking into next year. And we used to have like a borrowing problem. And so the good news is with taking a year off is, okay, I can catch up on my borrowing problem and kick a little bit down the road. So that's it. And I can foresee the same thing happening to Hilton Head and Vero as well, that I think all of the beach resorts are going to be insanely popular simply because it's a great way to use DVC points that you couldn't use otherwise if you're trying to avoid the theme parks.
Yeah.
And then Roxanne comments, it depends on how safe it is to fly. Unsure now. That is the other saving grace at Aulani is nobody's driving there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nobody is driving to Aulani. And so Lauren says she's taking that into consideration. And yeah. So I think that pretty well covers that one as well. Other big thing that I have saw tonight, and I think this was just an interesting discussion, was this whole direct versus resale. Through this COVID deal, the resale people are kind of coming out ahead, okay? And hear me out on this tale here, okay, or this line of thinking. But the Moonlight Magic parties got canceled, okay? Right? The AP discounts, you can't buy them right now, okay? So you just took out my number one and my number two reason for buying direct, okay? I'm like, wow. Who realized that we could lose that much of those blue card benefits that fast? But both of them are gone. No parties, no AP discount. So it's like, I never, ever saw this one coming. But it's just an interesting situation that we're in as well.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're going to do something to kind of almost make it up to the direct members because, I was one of the people who I had a trip booked for May for Moonlight Magic at Epcot, and that trip didn't happen. And it's almost like you have to still incentivize the direct purchase, which right now there's no real incentive because we don't have Moonlight Magic and APs are on hold. So how do you get people to buy direct when essentially we're all on somewhat of an even playing field right now.
Yeah, that's interesting. I got a little bit distracted there. I had to ban a comment and kick somebody. So sorry about that. I lost that train of thought there, but it was a little more important that I take care of that, Samantha.
Yeah. Just filling the space.
It's the first time we've ever really had to do that. We normally get a couple trolls from Twitch when we were going over to Twitch, but we stopped doing that. And so, yeah. Yeah. Sorry for anybody who read that comment. It's not a reflection of this team whatsoever. But, yeah, I think we're going to have some booking challenges going forward in the 7-month window. And I think the Aulani owners are going to be happy that they bought Aulani if they want to keep going back there. And yeah, my 2021 is really looking like I'm going to Aulani and blowing my points in 8 nights. Okay.
Well worth it.
Like a week plus. And I think, Gina, you're trying to get there as well, right?
Yeah. So I don't know how it's going to be. We're going to have to do the same. But we're doing a 1-bedroom. We're not going to go all crazy out.
Got it. And then somebody needs to just sneak Sam into their suitcase,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, please.
and bring her along as well.
Yeah.
I will give you the money for the overweight baggage fee.
Okay, you got that one covered.
Yeah.
And Lauren was saying that Aulani is a good place to blow points.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Roxanne had a question here. She says, my AP doesn't expire until February 3rd, 2021. Was able to renew this week because I had a DVC reservation booked for February 2021.
Wow.
And she was surprised that they let her. I am as well. You're the first person.
I had a similar situation, but I'm not sure if it's the same reason. I think like Shannon, I kind of skated in when they were still renewing gold APs because I basically called as soon as they made the announcement about the reservation system, because even with the AP extension, my AP was supposed to expire 2 days before my December trip.
Oh.
So I didn't think they were going to do anything for me. And I was like, if there's any chance you could just extend it or I could do something with it. And they let me through no problem. So yeah, I think they're looking at people's circumstances. And if you already had a trip booked, you were going to buy the ticket anyway. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Amanda says, I missed my Moonlight Magic for June, but I just renewed my gold AP with the DVC discount. So being out of state, that savings does matter. Yes, I think that is one of the two, like I said, I think those are the two #1 reasons and the top benefits of direct. Okay, the free soda at Epcot, I ain't turning it down.
Take it or leave it.
I'm not turning it down, but usually what happens for me is I'm like, oh, I'm thirsty. It's 6:15. And let's go over there to get something to drink. Nope, they're closed. So that happens to me quite often. But yeah. So it was good to hear that you guys have that going on. I don't know that I'm going to renew. I have to figure it out because I'm blowing all those points at Aulani next year.
Right. So you might not need a pass.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to go down for the Grand Gathering of Geeks through Kurt's podcast family.
Yeah.
And my ticket will be down by then. Okay. Yeah. So I might renew, I might not. I just have to figure it out. Right. And so Mike was saying the best get on new ticket purchase for 2020 trips.
I think they're going to wait until after all 4 parks have reopened. I think they're going to wait and see what that initial wave of people looks like, because I think you're going to get a lot of people, especially the Disney bloggers and the Instagrammers, who will all flood that first month. And then if they're seeing, August, September, October, aren't booking like maybe they thought it would, like they're not filling up, I think you'll see them then release tickets, because there are a lot of people, especially DVC members right now, who they had trips booked, but they don't have their tickets, or they have trips booked, but their AP is going to expire and they couldn't renew. So I think after that kind of initial wave of people comes through and they're seeing days that are still open, they'll open it up for everybody.
I think that's a key point as well. They're probably looking at this from a workforce management perspective, saying, we don't know what the crowds are going to be like. We don't know what we can handle. Okay. we don't know how things are going to play out. So we're just going to hold it close to the vest till we get some data and figure out some things and see how things are going and what works and what doesn't work. And we know how to better respond to it. So it's kind of like they'd rather make us all upset by holding us off than to let us all come back in and then not be able to handle us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's kind of like damming up the water. Okay. But man, that's going to flood sooner or later. Okay.
Yeah, it might be. I think they're going to do like a 30-day. So they'll wait till everything opens, and then okay, now we'll sell tickets for the next 30 days, and then then the next 30 days.
Yeah. Which would be a smart thing after we all saw how the reservation system went.
Our fun Monday.
That was a rough day.
Ooh. So
11 hours or something crazy.
Yeah. That was that just had Disney IT not going well written all over it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not going well all over it. But that being said and done, we'll handle it when we can. Okay. I'm in no hurry to buy my renewal because I'm not fully committed to that trip yet. The good news is I have a February use year. That Geekin' trip is in February, so I have all kinds of time to cancel and rebook that thing. And I even used like Saratoga points at Saratoga at the 11-month window because it was the only thing open with points. Okay. If I would have been on the ball sooner, I could have got a studio, and it's just me and maybe a guy friend, so I'm not going to get anything other than a studio.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much where I was at there. And so we're getting pretty close to the top of the hour mark. We'll see if anybody else has any more questions or things that they want to talk about, or even come back in and join the show. We'll give you guys a couple of minutes if you want to come in. And my DVC, let me type this up here. My DVC.
Yes, Roxanne. Talking to you, Roxanne.
Yes. So mydvcpoints.com/join live. If somebody wants to come back in and pop in on the show and say hi, especially those of you who are at Hilton Head or Disney right now, not to mention any names, but you've already self-identified. So,
and I already mentioned you. I already called you out.
Yeah. And we are jealous of all of you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm still cautious. I stay home. The last thing I want to do is get this and then give it to my parents or.
Right. That's I don't have to deal with that. My parents they're in their own home.
Yeah.
I don't see them a lot.
I still see mine, but I would just never forgive myself if if that were to happen to me as well. So
definitely.
That being said and done, we'll come back in and handle this as well. I'm happy watching the bloggers and the vloggers go out there and come back in and start to do their live reports. I'm really happy when people come back in that are there and jump in at the show and do a live report. So that's that's good enough for me right now. Okay. Yeah. And then Scott saying, do you think since Disney is having to cancel a lot of stuff that maybe when they open up fully, they will have one heck of a special event for New Year's that year?
I don't know.
I'm hopeful. I think the 50th, like they had plans for the 50th, and I think they're going to plus it somehow, like make it somehow even bigger better than it was supposed to be. But I don't know what that's going to look like.
Right.
Like, do we start the Halloween party in July? Like what does it look like?
Yeah, I think for DVC as well, they're so hurting from not having sold anything for 3 months. Okay. I don't see them having the budget to spend on a big party. So on the DVC side, I don't see it happening. On the other stuff, I think, they would have to like really have some moxie to pull off we're free of COVID. We're having a big party with fireworks and parade. And I think they're going tippy-toe back into that one, Scott. So that's kind of what I think as well. And so Marianne was saying as well that she agrees with me that they just took Sarah for a COVID-19 test today. So, and then Lauren was saying she had a precautionary COVID test this week because I work in essential service. That test is not fun.
It is not.
And thank goodness you were negative, Lauren. So it looks like Roxanne may or may not be ready to join us. I'm going to pop her up here and see. So, hey, Roxanne, how are you? As you're walking
Good. Can you hear
through
me?
Hilton Head, right? Yeah. So where are you at tonight, Roxanne?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear
All right,
us.
so we are in a 1-bedroom at Hilton Head. We're on the. Yep, Ken. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Can't really see much because it's so dark there, but
We're at a
We can hear you.
gotcha.
All right, let me. All
Oh,
right, so we're in a
there we
1-bedroom.
go.
We've got a really cute view. Let me walk around. There we go. We're in the bathroom. There's a nice tub.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
We're in a 1-bedroom. Kids are watching TV. Let me see if I can get them on. Got the beds pulled out. You guys wave?
Yeah, that's okay. So,
Oh my God, that happens like that. All right. So we got the 5 people in a 1-bedroom. I'm in the master bedroom now. I got the king size bed here. Sitting on the porch. The best part of this is the porch. Love these rocking chairs. It's so relaxing. Just sitting out there. I feel really relaxed here. It's very nice. It's very, it kind of reminds me like a cross between Old Key West and, I would say the Riverside or the Port Orleans French Quarter, I guess is kind of how I can describe it. The room inside looks like Old Key West with the whole TV, kitchen, living room setup, and obviously the tub with the shower / jacuzzi tub here.
yeah, that's very
But,
early DVC.
The nice here. Nice.
So how was like
Yep.
the COVID
But it's
treatment and
like
testing?
Riverside or Port Orleans French Quarter.
Okay.
That whole Bayou, Louisiana kind of feel here. Very relaxing, way more laid back than what we're used to at the parks. So that's one thing, getting used to that with the kids. They're like, very
we did.
slow paced, but it's nice. It's really nice.
So like how was the masks and COVID treatment and
The really safe, I feel. Yeah. Yep. I would say it's about 50-50 with the mask. Some people are not in Hilton Head adhering to the mask. They're just kind of like walking around without the mask. And Disney's really good about making you put the mask on. They'll kind of pull you aside and not make a big deal about it.
Okay.
But they just very quietly, classily tell you, you kind of have to have the mask when people don't have it. But when you go out to the restaurants and around here, a lot of people are not wearing masks. So interesting.
Yeah.
do you think
Yeah,
it's more
so
travelers or
One of
locals?
the things. Locals. I think it's more locals. Like you're in the restaurants, you're eating outside, you're not really sitting inside, but the people, a lot of them don't have masks. I'd say it's about 50-50, where when you're coming from up north, everyone's got the mask. Totally
it.
different.
Got it.
So,
Yeah, does anybody have any questions for Roxanne tonight
but-
as well while we've got her?
Have you gone to the beach club yet, Roxanne?
Roxanne?
Yeah, so we've been to the beach. Yep. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Can you still? Okay. Have we gone to the beach? Did you just say?
Yes.
Say that again, Gina.
Yeah. You went to the beach club?
So yeah, you have to take a tram over to the beach, and there's a separate area, and it's about a 10-minute tram ride, but it's pretty safe, and you got to wear the mask. But once you get over there, it's really pretty, and it's just like a short little boardwalk down to the beach. It's really, really nice. Crowded, very crowded, but I'd say 6 feet apart. People are pretty much social distancing. Obviously, no masks on the beach. But when you walk into the resort, like we checked in today, and you go right to the pool, you can take the mask off, but they walk you to the set of four chairs, and they're 6 feet apart, and they go over everything with you. They say, okay, when you leave, you put the chairs up and you tell us you're leaving, and we'll come over, and they spray it down, and they're constantly like wiping down handles, wiping down doors. And then when you leave the pool area to go to get like a Dole Whip or something, or like lunch at the quick service, you have to put the mask on. And if you walk up to the bathrooms, which is upstairs above the pool, you have to put a mask on. So it's kind of like you keep forgetting because you're at the pool, you're having a good time, and you kind of forget, oh, I got to run to the ladies' room, or I've got to run to get a Dole Whip or something, put the mask on, or I've got to run back to the car, forgot something in the car. You have to have the mask on. I saw some little kids that were 3 to 5, I'd say, having trouble with the mask, and they just didn't want to wear them in the resort. So they were kind of like taking them off, and they weren't really into it too much. So the cast members are very understanding. But I got to say, we're also doing a split stay. We're staying at the Marriott half the week, and we're staying here. And at the Marriott, it's not even similar. Like, they're not wiping stuff down. They're not putting you at the pool. I mean, they're just kind of like, it's not even like half as safe. I would say Disney's really going above and beyond, way safer, and really taking this much more seriously. And at the Marriott, it's kind of a free flow. People aren't really wearing masks, and they're not really monitoring and cleaning as much and all that. So way safer here. I would say Disney's going way above and beyond, which is pretty interesting.
Got it. Got it.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, we're kind of at the hour mark tonight, so thank you for joining us.
We're in a 1-bedroom chat. I know you'd be proud of me because I'm not doing studios. I'm trying to get over those studios. I love the 1-bedroom.
But now the problem is once you go 1 bedroom, you never want to go back.
Can't go back. We have a 2-bedroom over at the Marriott. Kids are like, what do you mean we don't have a 2-bedroom at Disney? It's a 1-bedroom. They're all horrified. I'm like, I'm creating little monsters over here, but they're just loving the 2-bedroom, and they love it here, 1 bedroom. So it's really nice having the king size bed. It's much better than the queen size bed. I will say that. There's a little quick service here. It was really cute. But everything, is like, they're not, the basketball courts are closed. The bocce court right now is closed. The campfires for the s'mores is closed. The fishing closed down at 5. I mean, it's really, really mellow. Like, it's not the same experience,
So what would your kids prefer?
So, yeah.
The 1-bedroom at Hilton Head or the 2-bedroom at Marriott?
Well, we're at the Marriott Vacation Club. We're oceanfront, so you literally walk out.
Oh, you're there.
Oh.
Right there.
Yeah.
That's a
5
winner.
minutes to the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice, but it's not as fun. Like, here, you've got the cast members with the games and the activities, and they were doing tie-dye shirts, and they were blaring the Disney music, and we knew all the songs, and we did 80s trivia, and it was fun. Like, we were interactive, and we went for a walk after dinner, and people are just happy and smiling and waving, and everyone's so friendly here. And the Marriott's just kind of like, there's no music at the pool, there's no trivia, there's no cast members interacting. So from a fun factor, and like, this is like more party central, this is fun. Like, they love that. The Marriott is just kind of like, kind of boring, but the room's big. It's like 1,200 square feet. It's got a beautiful balcony. We're up on the 5th floor, so we can see the whole pool, and the ocean's off in the distance. So it's a different feel, but I think this is more fun, and I actually like it here better.
Got it. Well, thanks for that live mini trip report and checking in with us tonight. So, and with that being said and done,
No problem.
I think we're going to just wrap up this show tonight. So, huge shout out to DVC Rental Store, DVC Resale Market, and Monera Financial for sponsoring our platform. Can't thank those guys enough. If you could check them out, they are the leaders in their respective classes for rentals, resales, at least leaders here in the U.S. They're the number one based in the U.S., and that has some key significance to it as well. And then Monera Financial is a great company if you're looking to finance a timeshare. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. We will be back next week. And I would ask you as well, as a final ask and reminder, let me find these over here. If you could, subscribe to the new DVC newscast. You could find that on Apple Podcasts. It's going to take me forever to quit saying iTunes because they changed the name. But that's out there as DVC Newscast. And as well, if you ever miss a live episode and you want to download the audio track for it, it's all out there as well on Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, wherever you can find podcast is Community Hall Podcast by My DVC Points, and it will be the audio track of this show. So thanks for joining in, everybody, and have a great night. And let's do a final shout out to our Patreons as well as we roll this Patreon clip.
See you real soon.
See you real soon, everybody.